Alright, so what we have here is a water heater thermostat set. This is the top thermostat, this is the bottom thermostat. This one is one that came out of a unit that I'm going to tell you more about as we go. We put this unit, put the water heater in. 2 weeks later, the person's calling up saying they have no hot water. It worked for 2 weeks. That's the important part of this, which is why it's weird. Thought it was the breaker tripping because the old water heater burned the element, not burned the element, had an electrical fire in the bottom element. Water was leaking all over it and it burned the thing down. So that's what caused us to get rid of that water heater, put a brand new one in, and 2 weeks it starts acting up. Long story short, figured out that this thing was bad. It normally, you have your 240 volt comes in here. Circuit breaker cuts both of these off. Your 240 comes out on this side. This leg sends power straight down. This is always hot. And this leg just sends power all the way to the element directly. Thermostat, adjustable thermostat, tells it where to set the temperature. Now once power goes in this one, it normally, that's why it's important, normally sends power to this terminal, which, since this one's going directly down, completes your 240 through your element, charges it up, energizes the element. Once that thing's fully hot, this thermostat's satisfied, it cuts off power to this terminal and sends it to this terminal. This terminal then sends power down to this terminal on the lower element, thermostat for the lower element, which when it's cold energizes this until this thermostat's satisfied. Yeah, that one. Try to get myself in frame. I'm new at this. Once this thermostat's satisfied, it cuts off and then it just stays resting until the next call for heat. On this one, we found out what was happening. Once I found out what was happening, I've never seen one fail like this, so it was kind of surprising that it would do that. Get my multimeter out. Set 2 ohms. All right, now get a baseline, cross them. This meter usually gives me 1 ohm for dead zero, dead short. So this 2 here, that's giving me direct. That's got a little shunt going to it, but that's still going direct. It's cold, so that should give me continuity also. This one and this one give me continuity, but nothing on this side should give me any continuity. Nothing over there. Now normally this and this are open as they should be. This and this are open as they should be. That and that should be closed because this thing is cold. The problem with this one, what it was doing, is this one, and let me find a thing for my wire. If it's squeezed together, it will short. Now I've already pried this thing apart, but you should not be able to squeeze it together and have it short out. So what it was doing is this top element was getting energized and the bottom element was getting energized. This one sits on top, so this side is always going to be hotter than this side. Hot things rise, cold things fall. Bottom of the tank's always colder than the top of the tank. So when this top element was energizing, it was sending power to both elements, which trips the breaker. So then I decided to take it apart and find out why it was doing that. And I filmed this once and it had no sound, so I decided to do it again with my mic, hopefully working this time. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to cry and refilm this again. Oh, yep, flathead. So, to get this thing apart, step one, pull this off. Pull that off, and then you just kind of pry the plastic up and expose what's underneath. And underneath is not the most exciting thing in the world, but this is how it works. You send your power down, this thing increases or decreases spring load on this little snap disc, which is your thermostat. The power comes in here, gets transferred down. Let me put something with a spike so I can see it better. Gets transferred down, and then it comes to this part, which, if you can see it, this is where it's important. There is no clearance between this top and bottom. Now, I don't know if this set screw, because there's a little bit of a gap right there, a little bit of a gap that seems to be controlled by this set screw, but there is no up and down play in this thing at all. So any pressure on this thing was closing this gap and sending power to both of them and causing it to fail. Now, I had to take this apart because I didn't want to find out that there was some problem with the lady's high voltage system, or the customer's high voltage system, that was causing it to overvolt and burn elements out, or burn the thermostats apart, to where this thing was fused, burned. I didn't want to pull this thing open and find out that these little pads had melted something. This other one, same basic philosophy. There's not a whole lot to these. Tink, tink. That's enough clearance. Bottom element, same, essentially the same thing. You have your power comes in here, comes across, energizes this thing, and just a little snap, a little chomper. This little snap disc, when it gets hot, it'll pop up, open the jaws. When it gets cold again, it'll snap shut, energize. When I pull these open, there's a little bit of marks on the inside of it, but not terrible. But there should be, and this thing is cold right now, so it's gonna stay cold or closed. But this side should not have this much. There should be some movement between the two. It is just jammed and broken. Good part, this looks like a factory defect that I've never seen before. But I'm gonna set these up here. You can go over there. You sit here, sit here. That can go there, that can go there. This one is the controls I took out of the original water heater. I have not taken this one apart, so this is going to be a new adventure. If it'll come apart. Come on. Thank you. So that came apart. Now, this should just pop off. Easier said than done, I think. Alright, now this one is about 6. That one has just about no clearance in it either. I'm surprised at that. Kind of makes me wonder. But still no clearance. Enough to make it click. But not much. I'm honestly surprised. I thought there'd be more clearance than that. See if this one will click. Not really. Barely. Let me get the mic. And the old one. A little bit of clearance in it, but still not a heck of a lot. I thought there'd be more clearance in that. Yeah, well, I don't take these apart very often, but there's still enough clearance to work. This one does not have enough clearance to work. The top one is another snap disc. It's high temperature. Gets hot enough, it'll snap, pop this little reset up. But yeah, that's how they work.